Hey everybody, it is October 12th, 2011. My name's Dan Boul. I'm president of 65 Amps, and I'm here today to show you our new amp called the Producer. I don't have a faceplate on it yet because we're just ordering those. So you get a look at a raw chassis. Just to give you a little bit of background on this amp, it is a pair of EL34s, but we are running them very unconventionally. And I'll explain more about that later. But you're going to hear a lot of interesting sounds out of this amp, and the beauty of it is it's only 28 watts. So usually most EL34 amps are 40 to 60 watts. This is 28, and it has our master voltage on it, so you can crank it down to about 5 watts. So we're getting all the good sort of EL34 distortion that you'd want, only sort of our style way of doing it. But the surprise to this amp is that it has a fantastic clean sound as well. And EL34s have had a couple of drawbacks traditionally, one of which is the amp's just too loud. Most people can't play. I'm looking at two cameras here if you see my eyes going back and forth. Most people can't play with a 50 watt amp anymore. It's not realistic. And modern EL34s blow up like crazy. So the way we're running these tubes, they're going to last you about 20 to 25 years by doing our simple math. And we've done a lot more than just lower the voltage on them. So there's a lot of amp guys right now going, oh, they just dropped the voltage on the amp. Yeah, we did that along with a bunch of other things. So these tubes are operating so happily now, and they're just drinking rich jet fuel AC. They barely even get hot. They get really warm. And they do all the good stuff. So what you have is an amp that I think will last you decades without even retubing it. And it makes modern EL34s sound really good. Also makes them last a long time. So there's no more retubing every year for $150 or $200. And you can work with all the modern stuff. So having said that, I'm sitting here with my trusty Les Paul that you guys all know. I'm going to start off with the actual dirt sound, and it's a little dirtier than you're used to from 65. So I thought it'd be a nice way to kick off. But just neck position. I've got the amp on 6. So the amp has 2 channels with 4 voices. So each channel, get my foot switch over here. Each channel has an independent bump control on it. So I'm on the 2nd channel with the bump on right now, which as you can hear is nice and dirty. But I can take the bump, oops, wrong switch. I can take the bump off. And it's sort of the medium gain thing that you would expect from us, you know. But now I can go over to the clean side. You don't expect that kind of clean sound out of EL34s. But now I got an independent bump on this channel, so I can push it into like nice American Joe Walshy kind of distortion, you know. You know, that's very American sounding distortion. Vincent in Paris is asking, Dan, is the bump on a foot switch? Yes, it is. The channel switch and the independent bumps are on the foot switch. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't know if you can see the lights behind me, but now I'm on channel 1 with the bump off, which is a green light. If I hit the bump, you'll see a red light change right over there. I'm pointing at my screen. Does that help? Very American distortion. Go over to channel 2 with the bump off. Very 65 kind of sound. kick it into raunch mode if I hit the right foot switch. You're right, Mr. Fonzarelli. This is the most complicated thing we've done so far. Where you're going to be the most surprised when I hook a Strat into it here in a minute and you hear the clean sound. You're not going to believe that it's EL34s. It likes to sing. It's very fun to play. And back to that sounds like a Gibson guitar, doesn't it? Guitar Man 51 asks the question of the day: when will the production amp be available? In about 6 weeks. Our dealers are taking deposits on them right now. Any chance for a producer combo? Maybe. It's a lot of amp to squeeze into a vibrating box. We're going to do heads first. I don't really recommend combos for anybody anyway, but we're going to try. But yeah, so we're doing a first come, first serve thing on the pre-NAMM deal. So if you put a deposit in with your dealer, you'll be in line. Why do I not like combos? Oh, I like combos. It's just you're putting your tubes and circuitry into a box that's vibrating like crazy. And modern tubes just aren't rugged like old tubes are. It's just you're going to shorten your tube life. It also makes the amp noisier because you have a huge magnet right next to all the tubes. So. I like this American boost, actually. It's fun. I'm on the neck pickup, as you can tell. I mean, like I say, I like combos. I love the concept. It's just I'm just being real about it. You're going to be replacing tubes more often. Preamp tubes are going to go microphonic a lot faster. You're going to hear more noise. Yeah, not to mention the weight. You know, if I made a combo version of this, it would probably be 90 pounds. You know, something like that. Can you give us Reverend Will G? I don't know what that means. You want some Billy? Is that what you want? Cheap sunglasses. Yeah, sure. Which would be the best voice for that? Maybe over here? Probably too dirty, isn't it? Go down one step. Go out and get yourself some deep dark shades. Lenses so dark they don't even know your name. This amp's just fun to play. I can't stop, sorry. Is that what you want, Keith Ricardo? Keith Ricardo? Good questions coming up here. What's the price? The list price on the head is $36.95. It's a lot of amp. Transformers are all custom made because nobody makes transformers that do what I need to do for this way of building amps. But considering that you're probably never going to buy power tubes again, it's actually pretty affordable. Red Rider's asking, how loud is it in the room right now? It's 28 watt amp that's on 5. So that's, that's fine. Go to club levels. Well, thank you for the nice words. Yeah, I mean, these tubes are really, really happy. And there's no off-the-shelf transformers that will do this. So we worked with Sergio Hammernick at Mercury Magnetics and Avitas from Avitas Audio. Hey, Dusty Wakeman's here. What's up, Dust? Dusty's our man. He's our bro. He came over this morning and helped me get this thing wired up right. Dusty's the president of Mojave Audio. So if you like a lot of the mics you're hearing today, go to mojaveaudio.com and talk to Dusty. Derek B's asking, how long will the 6v6s in the Empire last compared to the producer? Well, the 6v6s are going to last as long as like every amp made today. So 99.99999% of amps made today are built in a traditional fashion, where the tubes are going to last you, a few hundred hours. We can't make these tubes degrade. These are EL34s. The way we're running them is it's a different way of building amps. I don't know anybody that's done it before. We've done way more than just drop the voltage on the amp. So there's a lot of secret sauce in there. It's taken us about 4 years of work to get done. And finally got the transformers settled this spring. And with Mercury, who are magicians, they do anything. Goofy65 asks a great question. Is there any sound difference playing the producer in Europe because the different power? No, there's none at all. The only difference is your voltage coming out of your wall is at a higher pressure than ours. But the power transformer makes, on the secondary side of the power transformer, everything's the same no matter where. We just make a different transformer that's expecting 220 volts instead of 120 volts or 240 volts or 230 depending on where you are. So internally it's exactly the same. The big difference is, the fusing is going to be different over there, and we do a little bit different power circuit because with higher voltage means less current, blah, 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 blah. But the tubes and the circuit see the exact same electricity inside. And it even passes the silly chord test where you can hear all the notes. Jake, I'll go over it again shortly. I kind of just went through it, so I don't want to make everybody sit through it again. But good question. Derek V says, without getting too complicated, why do today's tubes suck? Well, all the tubes are made on 50-year-old machinery, and it's not state-of-the-art gear anymore. So the people that are making tubes are not worried about it. Just like any 50-year-old manufacturing gear, it gets weak. And also there's people trying to made in China. A lot of Chinese tubes are pretty bad. Some of them are okay though. Some of them are good. I mean, they make Apple computers in China, so. And people get rich selling cheap tubes now, so they're not motivated to change. So, a few years ago, it occurred to me that I'm going to have to quit designing amps around tubes that blow up. And I'm trying to be the first guy doing that. And here you have it. But I didn't want to do it until I could do it better than old style stuff. So let me plug a Strat into here. You guys are going to love this. There's, good old Les Paul. Let me plug my Strat in. You're not going to believe this is EL34s. These tubes are so happy doing what they're doing right now. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And let me get my Strat. And it's just kind of medium output Strat. It's not a real hot one. They're Lawler Dirty Blondes. They're a little mid-rangier than standard Strat. I have another Strat I should bring in too that's a little more traditional sounding, but this one's a little more piano-ish. And I don't know if it's in tune, so you'll have to just bear with me for a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the sound right today after a couple of bad broadcasts. I wanted to make sure that it was fine. Does not sound like EL34s, does it? So that's on the first voice. So Jake, I'm getting back to your question. There's 4 voices on this amp, 2 channels that have independent boost. So we're on the cleanest. Fonzarelli, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. He says, witchcraft, I tells you, you should be burned at the stake. Derek V. Al Jolson, you got it. That's right. You ever heard an EL34 amp do that? Let me hit the bump on the American side. It does have an effect, Luke, Eric. Then if I go over to the raunchy side, more British. Now that's voice 3. I don't have that channel up that high, but and go over to full on. Snake Cheese says, is it wrong to have beer with lunch? How do you have lunch without beer? So let me answer a couple of questions here. I'm having fun. This amp's fun. Hi, Dan. Will the new method with the tubes running the way they are and the producer be standard now on? I'm very turned on by this. I'm not going to commit to doing it this way, but the results have been astounding. And one of my, biggest concerns, when I was playing music for a living is, tubes are just getting worse. We keep track of them here. This is going back someone else, Axel. So are you guys using this same amps as other manufacturers in a different way, or are you using higher quality tubes as well? Well, a little bit of both. We go through them all. Miles Rose, we curve trace all of our tubes. So I reject over half of my tubes. I don't just take off the shelf tubes and put them in there. We have very strict requirements, and we go through them and actually curve trace them. So, I'm very, very turned on by this, and I have the formula. All right, the amp's cathode bias, Fonzarelli, so it'll bias itself. You don't have to rebias. It'll sound great with 6Ls. Voice 1, here's voice 2. Sort of bad Stevie Ray Vaughan that I can't play. It's good Stevie Ray Vaughan. I play it poorly. Yes, Derek, this is our G12H30 and Alnico Blue cabinet. It's our standard cab. So Guitar Jake asks, what are the similarities or differences between the producer and the Empire? Well, they don't have a lot in common. Different transformers, different circuit, different tubes. Channel 3, voice 3 on the producer sort of overlaps with the second voice of the Empire. A little bit. I mean, the Empire is just my 3 favorite Marshalls, or Peter and my 3 favorite Marshalls. This is a different animal altogether. I get it. Tartan Special asks, is the American side based around a blackface tweed voice? No, it's a 65 circuit. I don't copy circuits. That is a logical flaw. You can get some blackface sounds out of it, definitely. Good American dirt right there. And good American clean. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Again, hard to believe it's EL34s, right? I don't have a telly here. I have my Jerry Jones, which is very telly-like, and then I've got a Junior outside. Let me plug in the Jerry Jones really quick. It's very telly-ish. I actually end up playing this more than a telly now. I like it. So it's got lipstick pick. Ah, God. Got lipstick pickups in it. What in the world? Ah. Got lipstick pickups in it, and when you're listening to a lot of Nashville records, and you think I know. Sorry, I'm a klutz. And you're listening to what you think is a Telecaster in Nashville, a lot of the times what you're listening to is a Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones were made in Nashville. Jerry Jones just retired last year, or beginning of this year, actually. So. I'm going to get a tuner out for this one. Yeah, let me run it in the tuner real quick. Good thing we can edit. Wireless. Oh, no, I can't do wireless. They never sound as good. I can't do it. Oh, this thing's tuned down a half step. That's why it's so weird. I thought it sounded a little too growly. So, any other questions? Bob tells you the transformer is huge. Bob who? Yes, the power transformer is very large. Because I'm making a lot of current. Doc Electric says the Fenders use Mercury transformers. Only the Eric Clapton ones. And some of their high-end reissues. Their production stuff doesn't at all. So like that Eric Clapton line they just released and the Tweed Deluxe and the Twin reissues, those had Mercuries in it, but their regular stuff doesn't. We're almost there, guys. Close enough. This guitar is made out of masonite. So it doesn't like to stay in tune until it gets warm on your body. Dan, I have to go. Already on order. That's right. They're coming to Paris. Vincent has one on order. Stratocaster Mojo. No, I'm not going to talk about that other prototype yet. That's a new one for the red line. This is a blue line amp. And I will talk about the little one soon. Hey, could you do me a favor, Nick? My Les Paul Jr. that's out there on the rack, the old beat-up red one. Could you grab that for me, please? Thank you, man. So, yeah, a little Jerry Jones. Do you yourself like a loop on a 65 like this, or is it a demand? I never use effects loops. Most pros don't. I'm not a pro anymore, but I was for a long time. I mean, our amps are on 25 major tours this year. Those guys don't use loops. I don't think it sounds better. There's Jerry Jones. The middle position's like a humbucker kind of thing. Back to the bridge, neck position. question, Fonzarelli says, Dan, have Fender in the past ever used the valve type tremolo that you used? Yeah, on the early Princetons. Early 60s Princetons. It's just more expensive to make it that way, so they started doing it with the opto. That was a good boo-boo right there. How's it sound with the knob roll, tone knob rolled back? Uh-oh, did I lose you guys? Still there? Oh, they're using it on the Clapton line? Yeah. It's just a more expensive way to do it. That's why they're using it on their expensive amps. But you know, those amps have good components in them and they're handmade, and not surprisingly, they cost the same as a boutique amp. They're not going to make those for long, though. That's a problem. I haven't heard them yet, though. I don't know if they sound good or not. What's up?
Your legs are going to burst into flames.
Oh, I know. Starting to smell? Yeah. Probably just the paper. I don't have a tele today here, Stratocaster Mojo, which is a big mistake. I just have my Jerry Jones. But honestly, when you're listening to a lot of Nashville records and you think it's a tele, it's a Jerry Jones. Let's see, the tone knobs. On channel 1, there's treble and bass. Treble's on 6, bass is on about 4. On the dirty side, there's just a tone knob, and it's at about 5, 4, 4, 5 on this side. All right, let's go to my Junior. You guys want to hear a P90 now? It's funny you mentioned that, Stratocaster Mojo. He asked, does it go up to 11? The way this is going to work on the voltage knob is 10 is going to be where I want to run it, and then you can push it about 2 numbers past that. So yes, 10 will be about where it is now, and then you can go a little hotter if you want. And there's just going to be a red line there. So you can redline the amp if you want. The fun part about it is the tubes are so happy it's not going to matter. You can have fun pushing it beyond where you want to. And we're not stressing these tubes at all, so they're totally happy. I got to tune this guitar up too real quick, sorry. "52-year-old guitar. With 52-year-old tuning keys. Close enough, see how it goes. Just for fun. That was my inner voice that said that. All right. P90. This is my 59 Les Paul Jr. You guys have seen this before. It was a very fun guitar. So we're on voice 1. Voice 2, the American thing. Voice 3, British rhythm. That thing. I can't play it very well. And then full on raunch. Oops, wrong switch. Back to clean. Thanks, guys. A lot of nice words. These are the noisiest. It's the noisiest P90. Listen to this. Ooh. Bass Josh says, she just gave me an eating disorder. You went and got all Dinty Moore on us, chunky and beefy. That's hilarious. Thank you. Guitar will not stay in tune. Oh, did you hear that nut pop? Yeah, you can't play a 100-watt amp anywhere. Derek, where can you play that? Playing a Budokan without monitors? I'll have to break down and put new tuning keys on this guitar. Been so afraid to change anything on it. Ah. And you guys are really nice. Those are great comments. I really appreciate it. It's very fun building amps, Guitar Man. Dwayne, I think, right? Dwayne Barker. Well, I mean, the whole thing about selling this, I hope I do. Thanks, Stratocaster Mojo. I hope I sell a lot of these, but I'm trying to offer you guys something that's realistic. You know, like the tubes aren't going to blow up. Tubes are getting worse. Antoine from Belgium, hey, thank you for the nice words. Tubes are getting worse and worse every year. We've been keeping records since I started this business, and the trend is not good. You know, it's not like a nosedive, but 5 years from now, we're going to have 1/5 of the good tubes that we have now to work with. So the realistic thing is to design around something that'll work. And actually, I think this sounds better this way, but it's very unconventional, but it's safe. And when we first talked to our vendors that have helped us with this, they thought we were nuts. Nobody's ever done amps like that. So what? What makes them worse? The tubes? We talked about this earlier, Axel. It's old machinery, old technology. The cathodes are bad now. The vacuum's not near as high as it used to be. Oh, it's okay, Axel. I'm happy to repeat it. Yeah, Antoine, this thing loves pedals. Stratocaster Mojo asked, Dan, is Jared going to be running one of these on Saturday Night Live? Yes, he is. Probably after the Christmas break. I'm trying to get over there actually right now. Got that good American heated up sound. Just to dumb this down, well, let me turn down the voltage and we'll do it together. I'll show you. This thing's barely on, man. We're talking 4 watts, maybe 5 watts. But I still have my... I don't know, you can even hear it. It's so low. I don't know if it's louder than me picking. Here. Not even seeing any signal on the meter. Ooh, it's out of tune. Dude, if your wife won't listen to that, you married wrong. I mean, that's crazy. And I still have... Sure, I can go to the cleanest when you bring the voltage back up. So... this guitar. Could you make the same style circuit with more budget components and No, they won't work. I think the formula will work. And we actually plan on doing that. A little more of the R8, please. Yes. Yeah, let me go back to the Les Paul. I'm going to wrap it up here shortly. But I'm glad we finally got this working. It was kind of 2 weeks of teasing you guys. I apologize for that. But it was all for the betterment of the show. And if you don't believe me, I'll call you a liar. All right. Okay, so we're back to Les Paul. These are Tim White pickups. Kind of medium output, or not super. I have my 535 here if you want me to play that. sort of thing? What are you looking for? Ah! Itchy. Oh, I wish a Gibson would stay in tune. Here's a secret to that riff. Okay, I'm going to show you how to play it right. Most guys play it like this. You have to bend the note up. You got to get this dissonance between the D string and the A string. Hear that evil dissonance? So you got to do that while you're playing So if you play it normally, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're in a bar on TGI Fridays. That never works. Why is it not different? If you listen to the record, Page goes, and it sounds horrible. It makes it sound evil, right? He bends up. Doesn't that sound horrible? Sounds like a Stephen King movie. There you go, Jimmy Page 101. Yeah, these are Tim White pickups. It's basically the old Tom Holmes formula. There's nothing real unusual about them other than he just builds them right. Yeah, this is a 65 amps cabinet. It has a G12H30 Celestion and an Alnico Blue. No big hat news this week. Sorry, I talked to Peter yesterday. He's working his booty off. Working with Cheryl again. And producing a couple records. Do I like a 412 with a new head? Yeah, actually, I play this through my old Marshall 412 a lot. It sounds gigantic. And you guys are specking out the cabs of yours, right? Yes, we have a very specific design and bracing and porting and wood choices and everything. It's all ours. We do them uniquely. What should we expect price-wise? Yeah, Anton, this is going to list for $36.95 US dollars. So that's probably around, what, 3,000 euros? Doug Guillaume said, these are not Tom Holmes pickups. They're Tim White's, but he basically does the Tom Holmes formula. They're called Timbuckers. it's a little more than the Empire. You're getting a lot more amp. There is a new 412 that we're going to offer. I just haven't determined the price yet, but I cloned my 1971 Marshall cabinet. Down like the screw spacing and the torque on the screws and everything. We cloned it. I have a really nice old Marshall cabinet, so we had our cabinet guys clone it. And it'll probably, you know, be somewhere around the neighborhood of $1,400. Good middle position. Different colors and Tolex for the producer. Now we're going to make it in our standard black and tan, but we'll always do custom colors. It's no problem. There's no upcharge for it. Yeah, you want to hear the 535 Stratocaster Mojo? Yeah, I can do that. I'll have to tune that one up too, because I suck. But yes, I'll do it. I love this guitar, actually. The strings are very dead on it, but you'll get the idea. That's right, if you want to do your old bluesman rig on this, it's perfect. That's close enough. Beard scratching the microphone there, sorry. And I can go full on to raunchy with it. These are Duncan pickups in here. And back to... So yeah, thanks, Derek. If you guys put a 50% deposit down with your dealer, you'll be in the line. And then after NAMM, it'll be a full hard release. But right now, we're just making them for deposits. Because we got a lot of people want them. So it's... Getting a new amp into production is expensive. So. Out of tune, aren't I? Oh, my Gibson's out of tune. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. This amp is fun. I can play it all day. It doesn't seem like an hour went by already. Now I'm getting nerdy. Thank you. Got to go see my dealer, Max Guitars. Oh, thanks, Goofy65. Yeah, tell Robert he can order it right now. He'll order them anyway, but he hasn't got on the deposit list yet, so I'm sure he will. Do you think you can get sounds from the Empire with this amp? You mean, can I make it sound like an Empire? A little bit. They don't overlap that much. The Empire's all British. It's the British Empire. Get it? Does not sound like EL34, does it? How's it go? Yeah, Jake, channel 1 is American, channel 2 is British. Both have an independent bump, so you got 4 voices available. So there you have it. I think I'm going to wrap up unless you guys have some more questions. I had a big crowd on here and fantastic questions today. I appreciate it. It is like 4 channels. It's not really 4 channels. It's 2 channels, but it's 4 voices. It's not 4 different preamps. There's 2 preamps. Let's see, where can I get down into Keith land? Yes, the bump is switchable by foot. So you can hit all 4 voices. That's all I've been doing. I'm just sitting here with my foot switch. And so channel 1, I'm doing this all with my foot. Channel 1 bumped. All right, back down. Channel 2, no bump. Channel 2 bumped. you go. All four voices. There you go. Woohoo! So I'm going to go ahead and call it quits. My hands are actually getting tired, and I am starving. Starving, I tell you. Going to eat my own foot, which I do put in my mouth quite a bit, so that makes it easy. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully so. Nick, you need a cup of coffee, don't you? My young friend Nick is here falling asleep in the room. He's a tired man. He works hard. So what do you guys think? So there you have it. Thank you. I have hair in my mouth. I apologize. Thank you for the nice words. You guys have been very generous and kind. I really appreciate it. It's very fun, and we've put a lot of work into it. And we keep progressing and getting better. You guys that have ever been here to the shop know that the phrase good enough always pisses me off. So I don't like to do anything that's just good enough. I like to, there we go, get my mic back in shape here. I like to try to keep getting better every year. So I'm trying to do that. Also, you know, again, the main thing about this is the tubes are going to last. So you're not stuck buying an amp where you got to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on NOS tubes and retube all the time and all those sorts of things. This is going to work. It's going to work very well. And it'll work fantastic. It'll work even better with NOS tubes. But this way you're using modern tubes that you can afford, and you don't have to replace them. So that right there, you know, you figure over the course of 5 years, you're going to spend, you know, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 retubing an EL34 amp. So, won't the tube manufacturers resent you for decreasing demand? No, hopefully it'll make them step up their game and make better tubes. But the big companies aren't going to be able to switch over to building amps like this for years. They're just not that agile. It took us a long time to get this transformer set worked out, and Mercury will not sell it to anybody else. You cannot call Mercury and get this transformer. They will not sell it to you. We have a contract, and I pay extra money for that. So you can't even measure this transformer and figure out what we did inside. You have to take it apart. So, yeah, you can't get any transformers that we make. Your Stone Pony looks worried. Well, Stone Pony's a fun amp, man. There's no reason to change that. That's all good. You should be fine there. Sorry, looking at my other computer. Should be good. You guys have any other questions or any thoughts or anything like that? Double secret probation transformers. That's right. Well, if I told you how they work, you would go, oh, that's it. But I'm not going to tell you how they work. Why would I do that? We spent years trying to get it right. We spent a lot of work trying to get this thing right. And I didn't want to release it until it was ready. It's not magic, Stratocaster. It's just hard work, diligence, you know. We work hard here. We're always trying to get better. I'm not trying to just copy old stuff and resell it to you. I'm trying to give you something of value. You know, you guys spend a lot of money with me, and I think it's only respectful that I give you something that's worth that money. If I wanted to copy a Fender Deluxe, you could just go buy a Fender Deluxe. I don't know why you'd buy a clone of it. So let's see, Antoine's asking, speaking of your other amps, what would be your single channel amp with a clean crunch sound that would be the best for a pedal oriented rig? Depends on how loud you want to play. Tupelo, Soho. Just depends on how much power you need. Royal Albert's the most powerful one, and that's very commonly used in that situation. That's a 50 watt amp. So that'd be my best answer. I don't know how loud you're playing, what kind of music. No, I can't tell you anything about the little amp. You'll see it soon on the show, don't worry. That's the Redline amp. Antoine, I'd go for a Tupelo if you want to do pedals. For just a clean pedal platform, Tupelo's the way to go. But sorry, Jake, I'll tell you about it. Don't worry. You'll see it. That's a completely different thing. Is no problem. And it's fun. I'm telling you, it's fun. We're just not quite done with it yet. It's not ready for the shoe. We're going to be releasing it at NAMM. But it's a Redline thing. It's totally different. But what else you guys got on your mind? Besides the fact that Dan needs barbecue. When is NAMM? January. Third week in January. Can we work out a trade? Your kids need a nice pro tenor sax, right? You know what, Stratocaster Mojo? I have all the tenor saxes I need right now. But if that changes, I will get back to you. It's a very generous offer. I appreciate it. All of your amps sound so great. It's hard to choose. Do you make a discount if we buy one of each? Yes. Antoine, if you buy one of every amp that I make, I will give you a discount. But we make like 9 amps. So, yeah, I'll give you a discount if you buy 9. And a free t-shirt. I'll throw in an extra power cord and sweeten the deal. Yes, if you want to buy 9 amps from me, you're in Belgium, so you need to go to Max Guitar in The Hague in the Netherlands. Tell them you want to buy 9 and we'll work out. So you have a great musician joke for me. Oh, geez. Okay, let it fly, Axel. Let's see what's going on. Show me the new amps and you'll hear it now. That's okay. I'll wait. I don't release anything till it's done. We've made a couple of mistakes before, and last year we had a really small batch of Empires go out with a grounding error, and I hate that. I lost so much sleep over that. I'm just not going to make that mistake anymore. And we didn't even catch it. I had one builder copy a mistake and do it. Oh, God. So I'm being super, super nervous and cautious about releasing amps now. So that was really the only big mistake we've ever made. And it was not even that many amps. It was like 10 or 15. But nonetheless, and they still worked and they played and all that stuff, but we fixed them all for free. It's just a ground that was wrong. We put a ground in a wrong place and the amp hummed. So I'm owning up to the mistake. I'm telling you I've learned from it and not going to do it again. But the amps all have a lifetime warranty on them, so there's no worry. Blah, 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 blah. 9 amps, free t-shirt. You buy 9 amps, I'll give you 9 free shirts. How's that for a sweetener? Well, it's very nice of you to say, Antoine. I appreciate it sincerely. I really love what I do, and I'm very honored that you guys dig it too. It's quite a privilege. So anyway, it's 1:20 here in Los Angeles, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And if you have any more questions, I'll have this up on Facebook here shortly. But, Dan at 65amps.com. And you're welcome, Doc. Thank you for showing up. And you and I need to talk. I know that. Thank you, Josh. Always good to see you. And but yeah, I'm on Facebook, of course. Fantastic amp. Thanks, Dan. That's FS75. Thank you, Mr. Slow-Mo. Thanks for the broadcast, says Theodore. You're welcome, buddy. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate your time. It's very, very nice of you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We'll probably do the producer again next week. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you, man. It's very cool. Same, Blaine. Appreciate it, Strategy. Bring a telly. Yes, I'll get a telly can. And you're PayPaling me a beer. Right on. I'll take 2. That works very well. I will bring a telly, Mojo. I'm sorry. Bisbald, Goofy65. Vielen Dank. Bis zum nächste Woche. And the Fuzz Guitar Show. Yeah. I'll look into that. Actually, I might go over with Arna. I think I told you, our Norwegian dealer. I think he's starting to open up some shops in Sweden anyway, so that will be good. I don't have any t-shirts to buy right now. We sell them all the minute I get them. I should probably go into the t-shirt business. But I will be ordering some shortly. So thanks for that. Okay, fellas. Well, once again, it's October 12th. My name's Dan Boul. I'm president of 65 Amps here in Los Angeles. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much for your time. And please email or Facebook me any questions you have. I'm always happy to help. All right, fellas. Take care now. Woo, click. There we go. No.